It's wet out. Let's give it a go. Hopefully, it didn't get too far. What's up, guys and gals, and welcome. As you can see, I'm driving my Focus ST, and I'm talking about my first impressions of this car in the last week of me driving this car. So let's get right into it. First things first, the Focus ST, a front-wheel drive, turbocharged, hot hatch. Why the Focus ST though? The Focus ST was kind of like my second choice because my first choice was the Focus RS. I'm not really interested in the Golfs GTIs or Golf R. I think they are a little bit too feminine looking for me. I'm not a fan of those cars just because of how they look. Also, you're spending a premium for those cars. I understand they are more premium than a Focus, but that's neither here nor there. It was my choice to go with the Focus based off of my preference of out of the hot hatches that's available. Why the Focus ST over the RS? It's a lot of reasons why, but to simply put it, it is cheaper, which was the main push for the Focus ST over the RS, was that it's cheaper. But also, the 2-liter is known to be a lot more reliable than the 2.3-liter that's in the RS. And because of my lifestyle, I didn't see why I would spend the extra money for the RS. I understand the RS is an all-wheel drive car, it's 2.3-liter, but they got the same 6-speed manual. Pretty much chassis related, they're both identical, the ST and the RS. So for the money savings and also for better fuel mileage, I decided to go with the ST because I don't necessarily need to get into the RS because of my lifestyle. This is going to be a street driven car, not racing it, not competing with it by any means. It's basically a car that I'm going to have fun with no matter what, right? If I need to do anything that requires 4-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, that's what my F-150 is for. So let's talk about, now that we've talked about kind of the ST and the choice, why I've chose the ST, I'm going to go into just this platform and my first impression. So getting into my first impressions of the looks. The car looks good. The car's been around for a while. But when it comes to the Focus ST, me personally, I believe the Focus ST does not look good until you put wheels and tires on it. And suspension, of course, you gotta close that gap just a little bit. But these cars fit well with stock suspension. As long as you get the wheel and tires set up, dialed in, like as far as fitment is concerned, you can pretty much get it nailed pretty good. You don't have to do too much to the body, because if you do, it looks like you're trying too hard because of the design of the ST. I like the subtle look of the ST over the RS. I am in my 30s, so I prefer something a little more subtle than kind of out there like the RS. Don't get me wrong, like if an RS and the ST was given to me for free, I would get the RS. However, since it's not a perfect world and I have to purchase the things that I own, the ST was the choice I went with, especially because I am still paying for my F-150 at the house right now. So moving on to the next thing. So the car itself, the car is a driver's car. I'm gonna put it out there. This is probably the best front wheel drive car that I have driven, period. I have not driven the Civic Type R, so please, if you go up in the comments and you start, be like, this car is better. I'm talking about the vehicles that I've driven. This is the best front wheel drive car that I have driven. All right. This car is so good. This car is so good. I took this car to my favorite back roads just to feel the car out a little bit, and I can tell you that this car drives like an all-wheel drive car, even though it's not. It doesn't have an LSD. It's front-wheel drive, but it drives so well. The turn-in is so sharp. It's point and shoot when it comes to the steering. It basically rotates around corners as if it has a rear diff, but it does not. It's just the balance of the car that's just so good. It has torque vectoring, but that's not an LSD. That's the computer, trying to act like an LSD, but it's not an actual LSD. It's torque vectoring. But the car drives great. It's a great driver's car, and because it's a 6-speed manual only car, that makes it that much special, because that's how I know like this car is intended for enthusiasts. So moving on to the next thing, what is this vehicle like to work on? So as of today, the only things that I've done to this vehicle was the Cobb shift plate, the Cobb shift knob, as you see right here in front of me, the wheels and tires, and also LED lights to the turn signals and the brakes and things along that nature. With that being said, there has been nothing that I have worked on so far that was challenging. Don't get me wrong, I know my way around a car, but this car it's an easy car to work on. It's easy to wrench on. Most things are designed to be easily disassembled, moved around. Nothing is really in the way too much, but only time will tell if I would still continue to think that way as more things gets done to this car in the future. So moving on to the next thing, aftermarket support. So when it comes to the aftermarket support, it really surprised me. You can literally do anything you want to do to this car within reason. The reason I say that is because it is a front wheel drive car, so don't expect mods to be out there to make this a drift car. But with that being said, with the right amount of money, anything is possible. But with the things that's available to the regular consumers, you can make this car anything you would like to do. Beyond like daily driving, it can be a drag car, it can be a canyon carver, it can be a track car, like it can be a time attack car. This thing has many mods and a lot of support to support whatever direction you want to go. The downside to the aftermarket support is that this car uses a 5x108 lug pattern, which means that when it comes to finding the right wheels, you're going to be hard pressed, because it's not a huge selection when it comes to 5x108 wheels versus 5x114 or anything like that, because 5x108 is not a very popular wheel size. I need to do something about this. But other than that, the turbo, it's a plethora of turbos, engine building, intakes, downpipes, you name it, it's out there. And one of my favorite things about this car is because it shares the same chassis as the RS, a lot of the things you can switch over. So with that being said, you can upgrade to the RS Brembo brakes for fairly cheap with this car because of what it is. It's the same chassis. It's an MK3 Focus. The world we live in, man. This has to be one of the best, not the best hot hatch you could buy for the money today. And I'm not talking brand new. I'm talking about the used market, of course. So yeah, So as far as like the engine has known to be really strong, to hold 400 horsepower or even more on a stock block. It has a closed deck design, direct injected. It does not have any type of port injection. However, the aftermarket has support for some kind of auxiliary fuel setup that you can do that kind of contribute to the port injection that you don't have. So yeah, and that's that. But all in all, when it comes to my initial impressions, because of the OEM and aftermarket support of this car and what the car is, this is a car that will be on the road for a very long time because of all of these, because of the support that it does receive. It drives really good. You would never know it's a hatchback by just driving it, because it drives that good. The potential for this car is through the roof. There's Focuses that make over 600 horsepower. And also, as far as aesthetics, if you want the car to look good, there's a lot of options out there as well. You may have to spend extra money for the wheel setup that you want, because if you want a specific wheel, you might have to custom order it, which is going to cost a little extra money. But other than that, everything is fairly cheap to modify on this car versus a lot of other cars out there right now. And that makes me very excited. So I do have plans to upgrade a lot of things on this car. But my initial impressions of this car has been nothing less than great. This car has been a great car in the last week. Now, as time goes on, I will continue to talk about that. But right now, my impressions right now is great. What is it like compared to my Caliber SRT4? Time will tell, because I've had that Caliber for many years. This car I've had for a week. So give me some time to own this car to see what I really like about it and what I really don't like about it, and then we'll go from there. But all in all, my initial impressions of this car is really, really good, and I am excited for the journey that this car is going to be going with. So with that being said, I hope this information I'm sharing with you is at least entertaining enough to earn your like and also earn your subscription, if you want to subscribe, especially because I now have a Focus ST on the channel. So also consider liking this video as well. That's pretty much it for this video. I have more videos to come talking about other things regarding the Focus ST and also things regarding my F-150 EcoBoost. All right, God bless.